Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to tonight's session. Okay, good evening and welcome. Um, Thank you for joining me today, where we have decided to talk about a very important um, aspect in terms of any career in the 21st century, because this is the AI age. So almost everything is anchored around AI, and today we are going to look at how we can use AI for data analytics. So before we continue, I want to use the comment section. Tell me an AI that you are using for your work. Tell me an AI that you have been using, an AI that you know and you have been using for your work, so that we can proceed from there. Let me know the AI you have been using. Just type it in the comments so that we can better know that you understand what AI is before we proceed. Okay, just give it a few minutes before we kickstart officially. All right, before we proceed, my name is David Apan. I'm a data analyst and tech transition coach, and I am glad to be taking you on this boot camp in Tech Switch Academy, where we'll be talking about data analytics all around. We started by looking at introduction to data analytics. We also took time to look at thinking like a data analyst, where you are being taught how to think like a data analyst, how you can um, position yourself to be able to do better in your thinking. All right, so please just drop a comment. Let me know an AI you have been using. Let me know an example of an AI that you have used before or you are using in your work, so that we can better understand that you know what AI is and you have used an AI before. Okay, I'm still waiting on your comments before we could start officially. Okay. Okay, let me know an AI you have been using for your work, so that I know that you have used an AI before. I know that, okay, you have an idea what AI is and you have probably used AI for your work. Give me an example of an AI that you know. AI meaning artificial intelligence. Have you been using AI? Just drop a comment of an example of an AI that you have been using. Okay, I'm waiting on us to do that before we officially proceed to the business of the day. The business of the day is using AI to analyze data. Okay. Okay, so let's look at AI for data analytics. Now, AI is a wonderful tool that helps to be an intermediary between uh, those who are non-technical and the machine, which only understands the language of zeros and ones. So, in order to help us to better understand AI, we are going to just take a preview on what AI is and what it does. And then after that, we dive into using AI in real life to analyze data. Okay, yes, to analyze data. But while we are still doing that, please drop in the comment section an AI that you have been using, example of an AI that you know, so that I'll better understand that you know about AI and you have used AI in your work at one point or the other. All right, so let's see what we have for today. So we are going to look at different ways that AI can be leveraged in terms of existing workflow, how to drive measurable business through AI, master advanced AI and machine learning methodologies, and lead data-driven transformation initiatives. Okay, through this training today, we are also going to look at how AI is able to augment uh, beyond the traditional analysis where you have to do everything manually. Also, have to we also look at how we can build and deploy predictive models, apply decision intelligence approaches, and master critical AI application practices. So tonight is going to be loaded, and the data that we are going to use today is going to be focused on healthcare. We are going to focus on healthcare today, where we see how you can use AI in healthcare to data to analyze and healthcare data from start to finish with the use of an AI. Okay, so the world that we are in today is that of the AI revolution, and it is important that we master and act before the end of 2026 in order to have great opportunities in AI. So the landscape of data analytics is undergoing an unprecedented transformation, which is driven by the latest advances of artificial intelligence. And some of us would agree that we have been using AI to do a lot of work, like to generate images, videos, to write your reports, and a lot of things. So we have to close up the skill gap because most companies are hiring those who are proficient at the use of AI in order to do their work and not just those who have technical skills. Okay, so if you are going to be a modern analyst, an analyst of today, you must be a human plus an AI, and that will give you a superpower. So we'll move from a traditional analyst which does manual data collection, descriptive reporting, and periodic analysis with limited impact to the modern analyst who uses AI as augmented workflow, predictive insights, and real-time analysis for strategic decision support. So what this means is that if you become an AI augmented analyst, you have an advantage. So, okay, someone just said I'm not audible enough. All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that information. Please confirm I'm now audible enough so that I'm better sure that everyone is hearing me properly. Please confirm that I am audible enough now so that I am sure that everyone is hearing me. Okay, I'm in the comments. I just want to get that message before I continue. Confirm that you can hear me properly now so that we can continue. Okay, so you will become an AI augmented analyst. What that means is that you are going to AI is going to augment the work that you do. So you will not just focus on doing manual work, but it will be augmented by AI to better implement your work and be more productive. All right. So you also get deeper insights by the use of AI, and you become a strategic partner with AI in order to do your work properly. Okay. So what is AI? AI here means artificial intelligence, which represents a sophisticated suite of technologies that are designed to enable machines to simulate human-like intelligence. So AI is not going to take over the position of the human, but is to augment or help the human to be more productive. So in a business context, AI encompasses capabilities such as learning from data, reasoning to solve complex problems, perceiving environment, and making decisions to achieve specific objectives. So those are the things that AI comprises in this age. Okay. All right, I'm still yet to get any information as to if I am audible. All right, let's try to be active. Let's be active so that I know if I am audible enough, so that I know if adjustment needs to be done to my audio devices to better produce sound for us. Okay, so that is what we are going to be looking at. So in business, AI moves from learning from data, reasoning to solve complex problems, perceiving the environment, making decisions to achieve specific objectives, which we are going to all see how this AI can come into play to help us to analyze data today. So what it does as an impact is that it augments human capacity and drives strategic thinking. It also enables us to shift from being descriptive to predict through our analysis. It also creates opportunities for competitive advantage. That means you will be able to better do a lot of work at a very short time. So AI simulation of human intelligence by machines is an example of AI. The machine learning is learning from data without explicit programming, and deep learning is also through multiple layered neural network. So you see that AI is on the outer surface. We have machine learning inside, and deep learning is a deep rooted algorithm that drives data analytics. Okay, so how does the AI assisted or AI augmented analytics workflow look like? How does this workflow look like? Now, in terms of this, we have that first of all, we are going to put our data into the model, that is data ingestion, and then, okay, okay. So we are going to ingest the data, like put our data into the model to analyze, and then go into transformation, go into AI data cleaning, and then feature engineering, automatic machine learning modeling. We do monitoring, deployment, and visualization. So we are going to go through all of this today as we analyze data. Okay, Anastasia, you say that it's as though I am far from the mic. I am actually not far from the mic. I am very close to the mic right now. Okay, so let's just look at AI in terms of business. So we can see AI in terms of finance, where we do fraud detection and risk sorting. In terms of sales, where we look at the propensity to buy model. In supply chain, we look at demand forecasting and optimization. And then in marketing, we look at hyper personalization engines. In HR, we can look at attrition, prediction, and skill analysis. And in healthcare, we look at predictive diagnostic and treatment plans, which is what we are going to do in detail tonight. We are going to look at healthcare data. Okay, so without spending much time to look at more of the story aspects of AI, we are going to go more into deep work by looking at key examples of how we can get to analyze healthcare data, which is made available to us. So in this data, just 1 minute. So we have this healthcare data as is presented here. So this is the data we'll be working on, which I call healthcare data. So first of all, I'm going to open this data in Excel because it is a CSV or a format separated file. So I'm going to open it up so that we see what is in the data. All the details, including the data and the forms that we are going to use tonight, will be sent to us through an email after this class. Okay. All right, let's open up the data. So first of all, anytime you want to analyze data, it is always important that you open up the data so that you can explore it and know what is contained in the data so you can better understand the best approach to analyze your data. So this is health data which contains names, and these names are the patient's names. It contains their age, their gender, it contains their blood group, and then the kind of sickness that they have. So we can see some conditions, the medical conditions like cancer, obesity, diabetes, asthma, hypertension, and other diseases that they could have. So we also have columns like the date of admission. We look at the doctor that was assigned to them, and other information like that. Then we look at the hospital that they went to. We also look at the insurance provider for them, and then the amount that they paid, the billing amount on them, and then the room number that they were in. Also have the admission type, whether it was urgent, emergency, or elective. So we also have the date that they were discharged and the classification that was given to them. Okay, so this data here, we are going to use AI to analyze it. So this is a very large data set. It is about 55,000 records. As you can see from the bottom here, we have 55,000 plus 55,500 plus records. And it's a large data. Let's assume that you wanted to look at these records one after the other to maybe try to better understand the data. It will take a lot of time. So we are just going to use AI in order to analyze this data to gain insight from the data and get to understand what is going on in the data. All right, so if you are ready, just type for me you are ready, and then we are going in. Okay, so for tonight, we are going to use two AI to analyze this data, and we also have prompts that we have pre-built to ensure that we don't spend too much time building the prompts for the data analysis. That's because already we understand this data set. So if you were analyzing it from scratch or you have the data you want to analyze, the first thing is for you to understand the data set that you're analyzing. And then from there, you will be able to develop the prompt. So you can generate the prompt, like if you know a little of prompt engineering, which is one of the major things that we teach in our master class, how you can generate prompts in order to analyze your data so that the AI will give you heads up on how to better understand your data before you go into deep analysis. Okay, so the first AI we are going to use is actually inside the Google Colab. Google Colab is an engine provided by Google, which you can use to analyze your data right from your browser. So you open your browser, any browser of your choice. For me, I'm just using an Opera Mini. I'm using Opera Mini browser for this. And then you will type in Google Colab, just like I'm typing Colab. So this is Google Colab, and then you just open it up. So when you open it up for the first time, uh, you see this first one which says "Welcome to Google Colab." So if you open it up, it will show you other notebooks if you have not created a notebook before, And then what you just need to do is to open a new notebook because you need a blank space to work on. You need a blank space to work on. So I just click on open new notebook. So I'm opening a fresh notebook where I'm going to analyze my data. So you see here, this Google Colab contains an AI, which is Gemini AI. You know, Gemini is the AI owned by Google. So it's telling me welcome text switch. So we are going to get to analyze our data with it. So before we go into analyzing our data, let's take a little tour around the interface to better know the places that we are going to work. So we have some tabs here, like the file tab. If you go through it, it contains important things. I have to upload notebook and every other thing. And you can even save a copy of your notebook on GitHub, which I would also teach us what GitHub is for. And then you can edit, view. You can go through. In fact, as I'm doing this, if you have your system with you or you are watching with your phone, you can also uh, enter Google Colab and then you type in you follow this instruction to open up your Google Colab. It's on your browser. You can use any browser to achieve this as long as you have internet connection. So the first place that is going to be important to us is when we move down the site and then we reach this guy that looks like a folder. So if you click on it, it says file. So if you click on this file, you are going to um, see where it tells you that connecting to this will make you to blah 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 blah. And then it has sample files inside of it. And then there is this other button here which says uh, upload to session storage. So I clicked here and I'm coming to here because what I want to do is, first of all, I want to bring in the data that I want to analyze, which is on my system. So I will have to upload this data into Google Colab so that I can analyze it right from my browser. So once I click on this button, it's going to take me to my system. I can click on more here to get to my system. Okay, so the data is on my PC. I think it's on my laptop. Yes, this is the healthcare data set here, which I want to analyze. So I'm going to click on upload. So it's giving me a warning to ensure that it's saying that I should ensure the file is saved elsewhere. This runtime file will be deleted when the runtime is terminated. That is when once you finish analyzing this data, it's going to delete this data from here. So it is important that any data you upload here must also be stored somewhere. So I'm going to click OK, and then I'll let it to finish loading from here. I'll let it to finish loading from here. So just give it a few seconds. Okay, you see that the file has been added. Before we had only this one and the sample. So now our file has been added. So now this is where we start using AI to work. So open your eyes and be very attentive to the details of what we are going to do. So like I said, that we are going to use two AI to analyze data tonight. This is the first one, which is going to be the Gemini AI that is built into Google Colab. So I can close this temporarily so that I can have enough space. So down here, once I highlight the file that I've just brought in, I can click on these three dots here, and then I'll have a few information here. One of them is to rename file path or to add to Gemini. So this one, since I want to use AI to analyze it, I'll say add to Gemini. So once I say add to Gemini, it automatically opens up this query pane here with the Gemini AI with the data inserted here. So once I just click on this button or this send button that is available here, it's going to help me to import the data. So the first step is your ability to get your data in for the analysis. So let's go. So once I click on it, it tells me that it is working. Now, what it is doing at the background is it will start writing codes for me instead of um, instead of me writing codes as a data analyst. The AI will help me to write codes and also give me suggestions on what it feels that I should do per time. So it can be a very good way for me to even get more insights into what I want to analyze, especially when I am stuck in an analysis. So if you see the recommendations here, the recommendations are actually good. So the first one says that load the healthcare data into a pandas data frame. So I want to load the data, so I click on this first option so that it will write for me the code that I'll need to load this data. So it will just be something like import pandas and okay, all of that. So you can see from here that a code has been written in Python for me to use in importing this data. So what I can do is I can decide to accept it here and run at the same time, or I accept it. But normally I like to accept my code first so that I can preview it and see that the code that has been written by the AI is actually correct. So what it's doing is that it's using pandas, which is a model in Python to import this data, and it wants to also print the head of the data for me. And honestly, I do not need to understand Python codes before I can use this AI to analyze data. Okay, since I'm done with the importing aspect, I can close this screen so that I can have more space over here. So, how do I run this code? To run the code, I can press on this play button there that is just beside the coding area. So I'll click on this play button here to run the code. So once the code has been run, you see that my data, just like we had in that Excel worksheet, has been has been loaded into um, Google Colab so that my analysis can begin. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much. That is someone says I am ready. Okay, the slides was not clear. The audio is not like the previous classes. I am ready. It seems we are far from off. I'm really sorry about the audio. I don't want to believe that it's network because it's the same audio device, the same conditions, and I don't think I have any challenge with my voice right now. So please, you will just have to bear with me for tonight. Bear with me, I beg. Don't be angry. Okay, let's continue. So now, after we have imported our data, we can easily see the data within here that AI has helped us to import this data from our system into where it can be analyzed. So we have to add another coding area each time we want to write a different code, just like we wrote this code here. So what we do in order to get that coding area is to come to where we have code here and click on this plus sign that is available here. So once we click on this plus sign, it will add another area for us below where we can use to continue with our analysis. So this is the time we start bringing in those prompts that we had created. Those are our prompts that we already have here in order to, first of all, the first thing we want to do with the first prompt is to clean our data. So as you can see from here, we say prompt one is data cleaning and AI data preparation. So we are going to paste this after uploading the data set. So what are we telling AI in this case? We say that you are a senior data analyst working on an healthcare data set. And this is how to write a good prompt to get good results with your AI. Now load the data and perform a full data cleaning process. So we have different tasks that we are giving to it. In this first one, we say that inspect the data structure and show the first 10 rules. Standardize all column names to lowercase and replace spaces with underscores. Clean the name column, convert all names to proper title case. Remove prefixes such as Mr. and Mrs., Miss and Doctor from the names. Ensure the age is numeric, that is, age should be a number. Convert date of admission and discharge date to proper date time. And then number six, create a new column called length of stay, which should be the discharge date minus admission date, so that we can know the number of days that the patient was in the hospital. Now, we also say that you should round the billing amount to two decimal places so that there will be no conflicts where some will have three decimals, some will have five decimals. And then the next task is to identify and handle missing values, check for duplicated records, detect unusual values such as extremely low billing amounts or impossible dates. And then at the end of the day, bring out an output that will show us a summary of the steps that you performed, the data quality issues detected, and clean data set ready for analysis. So, like we said in our previous class, as a data analyst, 80% of your time will be spent cleaning data. But with AI, you can really reduce the amount of time that you spend on your data cleaning. You can reduce that time to up to 40% such that you have more time to do other things and better enjoy your days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this prompt as it is from your a senior data analyst to the final one. So I'll just copy it. Don't worry, this prompt will be sent to you. So now I'll copy it and I'll bring it to the notebook that we are using to analyze the data. So the first thing is you can see within the notebook, each time you have a notebook, we have area that you can start coding, and we also have this or generate with AI. That is, you can decide to write your code by yourself, or you can generate the code with AI. So in this case, we want to generate the code with AI. So you can also see up here, you can use this button which is says the available AI features will do the same work, or you just click on this generate that is here. Once you bring your mouse close to the generate, it will change to a finger, a pointed finger, which shows that it is a link that is clickable. So once I click on this, it's going to bring out this AI query pane here, which I will just use Control V to copy, I mean to paste that prompt that I brought in. I can just right click to paste it to anyone that is better for me. I can decide to do. Okay. So after pasting my prompt, I'm going to do send so that they can write a code for me to analyze my data. So let's see. It has written some codes for me. Let me be sure that the code is complete. I don't think this is complete. Data set info and blah blah blah. But that's not what I asked you to do. And that's why sometimes AI can do what you did not send it to do. So you always monitor everything that AI is doing so that you can better understand, better get what it is doing properly. Okay, so let me generate that code again. Now, the, the good thing about AI is that AI can still give you wrong results, and it will be very confident that what it is doing is very correct and tell you, yes, we can move to the next phase. So it is your duty to know how to also learn how to better use your codes. So let's see what it has done. It has done task one. This is the code for task one, which according to what we asked it to do, it has done it. So we can just run the code from here, and then it's going to show us the information about the data, which is what we asked it to do. And then we come to the next which is task two, which we ask it to normalize the data. So these are the Python codes that it has written for us to achieve that task. So we can still follow along. And then the last one, which is the data cleaning steps. So let's see what happened there. So we can now see um, the columns that are available after cleaning, like the name of patients column that is available after cleaning. So with just one powerful prompt, we have been able to clean our data. So let's move to the other part where we continue. Okay, let me check. if I have any message from us. But the screen is not clear. Barely see the data. Okay. Uh, I'm surprised because I am seeing the screen from here. Okay. I'm seeing the screen from here. All right. Let's just continue. Remember, this is just the first AI that we are going to use. We also have a second AI that we are going to use tonight too. So let's go to the second prompt. The second prompt is about data exploration, where we try to get more information about our data. So let's just copy the prompt. The prompt will be sent to you so you can take time and read through it properly to better understand the content of the prompt. So data exploration is like you trying to be familiar with your data. So I'll add a coding space where I'm going to generate this new code. Then I'll go to generate. I click on generate, and then I paste this prompt that I just copied. So like I said, exploratory data analysis is for you to better understand uh, what is in your data and those things that you should analyze for. So AI can also help us to do that. So I'll just paste the prompt to it and then wait for it to generate. So as you can see, it says it's working. So let's allow it to work while we wait. So I will accept the code that it has generated, which starts from task 4 and all of that. So let's run it and see what comes up. Okay, so we can see that it has checked that the age column is already numeric. The date and whatever, everything has been converted. The length of stay column has been created in days, and the billing amount and everything has been rounded. Okay, so we just see our data is coming up the right way. This is because if you don't have the clean data, like we always say, if your data is not well cleaned and polished, the insights that you are going to get from the data are going to be flawed. So that is why it is important that you painstakingly carry out your data cleaning in order to ensure that every part of your data is well ready for your analysis. Okay. So after that, let's look at the next one. So we add a coding area. We click on this one and then we go to code to add a cell under it that we can paste the next prompt. So the next prompt is about business analysis. So we are telling the AI here that you are a health data analyst working on hospital management. Perform the following: calculate the total revenue from billing amounts, determine which medical condition generated the highest revenue, identify the top 5 doctors based on total billing, and then other information. So when you get these prompts, immediately after this class, make sure you go through them one after the other and replicate what we are doing tonight because it is by replication that you can better understand what we are doing. I don't need that. Okay. So let's go in and generate more of the code. I'll paste what we have here. I'll check to make sure that um, no, this is not. I'm not pasting the right data. What's happening? I didn't copy this properly. Okay. Let me be sure that I'm pasting the right thing. Okay, yes, this is the right prompt now. Okay, yes. So let's see what is going to happen. So we have given it all these instructions that it should help us to analyze all these conditions, about 10 of them, and then to present an executive summary and chart suitable for the analysis. Okay, this code cannot be correct. I don't think it did the right thing. It just ended with task 1. So I'm going to translate and run it again. So already you can see that with AI you can have a lot of inconsistencies. That's why you as a human must be there to make sure that you force it to do everything that is required of it. So you see, we gave it 10 tasks. It was only able to perform one, and it will comfortably tell you that it has completed it. So if you don't check it, AI can give you very flawed analysis. That's why when people rush to me and say, but AI can analyze data very well. I say, yes, AI can analyze data. But the thing is, for your analysis to have depth, you must know what you are analyzing for. Okay, so you see now it has written the code properly for me now. These are the tasks that I asked it to do. So now I can accept it. So this is a call towards that. It's not every time that AI does something for you that you automatically accept it. You have to question it, force it to do the right thing for you. Okay, so as you can see, the first task is showing us that the total revenue of the hospital is $1.4 billion. Okay, so task two was to determine which medical condition generated the highest revenue for the hospital. So let's see if that insight can be gotten from here. In terms of medical condition, you can see here that diabetes generated the highest revenue, followed by obesity, arthritis, hypertension, asthma, and then cancer. Okay, so you can also see a chart under here which represents that data. So this one we say the task was to identify the top five doctors based on total client billing. So we want to know those doctors that are handling high profile patients, or those doctors that are making helping the hospital to make the highest money. So you can see the top five here. We have Michael Smith being at the top here with 78 $784,000. $784,501 being made from him, and the bottom five is David, not me actually, not my David. 47,473,000. Okay, so you can see a chart has been generated. Let me close this off. You can see from here that a chart has been generated which shows uh, the distribution of these five doctors. So if, for example, we wanted to award a doctor, so this guy here is going to get an award for bringing in the highest revenue for the hospital. Okay, so the first task here was to analyze which insurance provider contributed the most revenue. So Python has created this, um, sorry, the Gemini AI has created this Python code for us, including ways of plotting it. You don't need to understand any part of this code to use AI to analyze data, but it should just be uh, carry on your analytical mindset and the ability to question assumptions and biases. Okay, so let's see. So we can see from here that the insurance policy that the greatest insurance provider here was Sigma, followed by Medicare, followed by Blue Cross, United Healthcare, and then Aetna. Okay, so you can see the distribution that even when between them there's no much difference, all of them are still providing around 2.8 uh, 8 billion or thereabout, and then yeah, there's not much difference between them. That's why the graph is showing almost identical ages. Okay, so let's look at the next task, which was to compare the average billing across admission types. So we had emergency, we had a different admission types that we saw in the data. Let's see. So for elective had the highest, followed by urgent, and then the least revenue came from, or the least billing came from emergency situations. And this is just a plot for them too. Okay, let's move on to the next task, which was to analyze which medical condition led to the longest hospital stay. So let's run this one and see. So you can just see that asthma Asthma patients stayed longer in the hospital, followed by those with arthritis, followed by cancer patients, followed by those with obesity, followed by hypertension, and then diabetes. But if we check, all of them are all within 15 days. It's just a little fraction that is separating them. Okay. So, what was the next task? Determine whether old patients generate high hospital bills. Those patients that are old, you know, they say that data analysis is more about asking questions than analysis. So, these prompts, you are just asking strategic questions that will help the executives to better understand what is going on in the data. Okay, so let's run this one and see what we are going to get. Okay, let's let it run. So let's see whether older patients were able to generate higher revenue. So you see, we have a long chunk of codes here. So let's allow it to take time to run its course. Okay. So we look at age group 0 to 17 were the ones that brought in the highest revenue. So those who are children are bringing in the highest revenue, and then it's like 18 to followed by 18 to 29, 30 to 34, and then we also had other ones following. Okay, so this is just a plot which shows that those with 0 to at the age of 0 to 17 were the ones that brought in the highest revenue, and the rest are almost the same amount of revenue. Okay, so let's go to the next part, which is to identify the medications that are associated with abnormal test results. So, which medications will the patients take that will make the test results to be abnormal? So, down here you can see we have ibuprofen being number one, followed by paracetamol, followed by aspirin, followed by Lipitor, and then penicillin. So all these are just insights that help us to better understand the data. So the task now was to detect unusual billing outliers, that is, those billings that were not correct. So we, by doing so, we look at things like the count of the number of billings that we are looking at. The mean billing was 25539. The standard deviation was at 14211. The minimum was, so we have a negative billing here. So you can easily see that the minimum is at 208 something dollars. That means instead of the hospital collecting money from the person, they actually paid the person. So this will be the implication of that. So we have a box plot here, which will help us to see the outliers, which are down here. Okay. So the 10th task here was to determine the most common doctor-hospital combination. Okay, so let's see what we can get from there. So the most common doctor-hospital combination was Bradley Ayres, which was at Christensen PLC. So you can just see all the insights down here, and then a plot under here that tells us more of the story. So down here, just as we had asked it gives us a comprehensive summary as to what we have done so far and what has happened within the data set. Okay, so to further continue, we will add another cell to continue with our analysis. And then after that, we can move on to the next AI that we are going to use to analyze our data. So far, let me get your feedback. Uh, Someone said that you can barely see the screen. So sorry about that, but I think the screen is not that bad. Just working on a black background. Okay, so let's go to the next prompt, which is prompt number 4, which asks this guy to generate insights for us. So I'm just going to copy the prompts, just like I did earlier. Just as I did earlier, I'll copy the prompt and then go to Gemini here, and then I generate it. Ask it to generate the prompt for me. So it is working. Let's give it a few minutes to do the work for us by trying to bring in the data for us. Okay, it's taking a little more time to write the prompt. Let's just give it a few minutes to write the prompt for us. Okay, so it just wrote out not just a prompt, but it wrote out an insight for us, which is contained here, a lot of insights here that tells us about everything that we need to know about this analysis. Okay, so a lot of insights available here. So we cannot run these insights here. So I'm going to just copy all the insights using Control A. I must be inside the cell. I use Control A to copy everything and Control X to cut it out. And then what I'm going to do is that instead of writing a coded editor, I'm going to use text here so that everything can be written out for me as a new text. Okay. So you can use it text to uh, have your insights, and then I'm going to run it as a text so that yeah. So you see an explanation that we have here about our data set and everything, including the advanced options and everything that is available here. All right, so I've been seeing a lot so far. Let me take a pause so that we can move to the next AI that we are going to use for tonight. So there are more prompts that is available for us to use, which will be sent to us. So let's begin to look at the second AI that we are going to use tonight for analysis. So for that second um, for the second one, I think I want to use a fresh edit browser because it seems this other browser has been giving us issue in terms of singing, which this person is complaining. Anita, I'm so sorry about the fact that you could not see the screen. So is this other screen better? Can you see better with this other screen? Let me be sure. Is this other screen clearer and better for you to see? Okay, let me know if this other screen is better so that we know that it's not the screen issue. Okay, now in this other part, you want to use another AI to better understand our analysis. So the second AI we are going to use is called the Bricks AI. Bricks, Bricks AI. So the Bricks AI is the dashboard AI. Let's look for it. Where is it? Okay, is this one here? This particular one here. Bricks your analyst to create dashboards. So this is the Bricks AI. I'm going to send you a link to it after this class so that you can use it to practice. So this Bricks AI is a very powerful AI that can build dashboards for you in few minutes. So if you're opening it for the first time, it may ask you to create an account. For example, I'll say get started so that I can create an account with it for free, and then I can use it to carry out analysis. Okay, so let's give it a few seconds while I go back to look at my other analysis and see what's going on. Okay, so this one is completed. So let's look at the Bricks AI. Let's give it time to load. Let's give it time to load. It may take maybe 1 minute to load up. So this new AI is called Bricks AI and is used mainly for building dashboards. It is always called the dashboard AI. Okay, so after logging in, this is what the interface is going to look like for your Bricks AI. So you can also see from here that you can attach files. This is the most important part where you attach your files. So you just come over here and click on attach file. Then you select the file that you want to attach and then you give it to it. So it's going to load the file into the model and then from there you can start your analysis program by giving it a prompt. So once you've uploaded the file, you can go ahead to create your dashboard directly, or you give it a prompt on what to look out for. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all the prompts that we have from one to I think we have like five of the prompts. I'll copy everything and just give to it and see how it's going to fare. It's going to be a test. Let me see if it can process all of them at once. I've not given it this much prompt before to analyze, but I just want to try that see if it's going to work at once, all at once. So after I have opened it, and then I've uploaded my data to it, so I'll paste it here. Okay, it has truncated part of it. It couldn't take in everything. Let me see how far it went. Okay, that means it can only take one of that at once because it has limited amount of text that it can take. Okay, let me copy the prompt again. I'll just copy the first prompt, which has to do with data cleaning. What does it say? Okay, you are a senior analyst, blah, 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 blah. Clean this data for me. Although this AI is not mainly for data cleaning, it's more of a dashboard creation AI, but it can also carry out um, some data cleaning and analysis. Okay, so let's go. So first of all, once we say you should create a dashboard, it first of all starts by importing the data with AI, and it's telling us that this may take a minute or two. So we just take time and wait for it to do the work. So this is how you can leverage AI in order to analyze your data. AI is a powerful tool for data analytics where you can use it to leverage your data analysis to better understand what is happening in your data. Okay. Okay, so you can just see what is happening within the screen. You can see that the AI is working and trying to first of all plan a layout for the dashboard, and then the next thing it's going to do is that it will create blocks for where it's going to place all the items on the dashboard, generate insights, and generate summary, and then also finalize the dashboard. So let's just see the power of this particular AI, our second AI for the analysis. Okay, so it first of all writes an overview for us that this dashboard represents a thorough cleaning and exploratory data analysis of the large healthcare admission data set. It analyzes columns and everything and all the information that is available here, length of day and all those things. So let's see the results that is going to pull off. And then at the end of this uh, training, you get to tell me which of them is your favorite AI. Okay, so we can see here that from here it's telling us that abnormal results at the rate of 32.6%, and the hospitals covered are about 39,876 hospitals. Median of the length of day is unknown. So yeah, that's because it does not know how to really clean the data. Assuming this data was cleaned before handing it over to it, it would have done a better work. So you can see the billing distribution in a chart here and the medication prescribed by condition. So you look at cancer and Lipton and Lipito and all of those things. So you can see also a chart which shows us average billing by the condition, the length of day of stay on different dates, okay, and then admission time over test results mix, you know, these are the test results mix. We have abnormal results, normal results, and inconclusive results. All of them having almost the same percentage with the donut chart here. Hospital by admission, we see doctors, and then the admission count. So this Michael Smith, you can just see from here that it is 27% and other things. So missingness by field, that is the missing values that are contained. There's nothing like that and outliers. Okay, let me now give you the second prompt and see what it's going to do with it in performing the exploratory data analysis. So the prompt also can also affect the performance of any AI within any environment. So let's give it a prompt to further analyze the data. Okay, I think it has not finished. It is still generating, it is still creating a block. Oops. Okay, it has not finished. As you can see, it is still loading. So let us allow it to finish this first one. You can see more tables and charts are going on. So it says that AI is generating. Please don't navigate away. I missed that one. Okay, so let's give it a few minutes to finish with the generation of the insights. Let's give it a few minutes to continue generating. So this is Big AI. There are many other AI that you can use for analysis, like the Julius AI. Julius, like the name of the person, can help you to analyze your data. You can use, is it, is it Pythagoras? Yes, you can still use that one to analyze your data. So there are many AI that can really help you to analyze your data. So now it is generating insights for me now. It's taking time to generate insights based on the data that has been given to it. And then what it will also do is that it's going to help me to generate a summary for this data and also help me to analyze the dashboard. Okay, so it seems this has been completed. So you can see from here that this analysis is almost complete. It's covering almost everything that we have asked it to do for us. So if you have any other questions that you want to give to it, you can just come here and then type your queries. Now, one thing I love about this AI is that you can also change the pattern of this. Um, you can also change this dashboard by choosing a theme from here. So you can just click on just one theme and everything is changing, or you go to a professional theme and everything is changing. Now, before we end this session, also it is also important to know how we can share this insight. That after creating this insight, you need to share it to whomever you want to give the insight to. So you can just click on this share button here and click on invite. Okay, you insert the person's email here, or you copy the link from here. But first of all, this link, you must make sure that you make this link available to any user, that any user can produce it, and then you can copy the link and share it with anybody. Now, the same thing with the other AI that we have used. You can share this document, this workbook with anybody by clicking on share. So once you click on share, it will give you the option to remove this restriction. Once you remove the restriction, you can copy this link and then share it with anybody to get a view of your data. So guys, we have really done a lot tonight, looking at two different AI for data analytics. The first AI being the AI that is in Google Colab, which I have already shown us all the processes, and the second one being Julius AI for data analysis. So what you do for me now is to tell me the one that is your favorite from the two AI that you have used. So before we close in this session, I would like to present to us um, our master class that is coming up from next month. So it is important so that you can start preparing and make payments to enjoy the master class, which will come in two tracks. So we will have this information for you to go through. So we have two tracks that we are operating. We have the data analyst, and for that you will have to pay 40,000 naira, which you can pay instrumentally 10,000 naira for the period of the 4 months. That is if you are making the early payments. But if you don't, if you are making payments after 15th of April, you would have to pay um, you would have to pay the complete amount, which is 50,000 naira. So if you pay within the given window period, you would sorry the window period for the window period for the early bird payment is 3rd of April, from now to 3rd of April. So if you are paying outside that period, you have to pay the full amount, which is 50,000 naira. And if you pay on time, that will help you to save 10,000 naira. Guys, this is relatively cheap. It's more like studio money. So we have limited slots for enrollees. So for this one, we are going to um, have access to learn for complete 4 months. You learn about how to build data projects, analyze data using Excel, Power BI, SQL, and Python. In fact, in 4 months, you'll be transformed into a full-time data analyst. And then we also have the BI um, analyst track too, which um, you get to pay 20,000 as an early bird. But if you pay the late payment, you have to pay extra 10,000, which will bring it to 30,000. So the early bird duration, like I've already said, will last to the 3rd of April. So this is to ensure that everybody is able to make good use of this opportunity to learn. Okay, so that is that on that. These documents will be sent to you so that you can go through it and better understand. So before we close, I want to let me know your favorite AI among the two, and then we are going to call it a night from here. All right. So I'm going to take questions too. I'm going to be taking questions right now. So send in me your questions. Send in your questions. Any question or anything that you are not clear on, or any clarifications that you want to make, so that we can attend to them immediately, and then we call it a night. Now, next week we are going to move from the baby things of data analysis to where we are going to build the real skills in data analysis. So next week on Tuesday, we'll be looking at how to use Microsoft Excel in data analysis. So in that class, we'll show you how to use Microsoft Excel from scratch. Whether you are an absolute beginner or you already have the knowledge of Microsoft Excel, you'll see how Microsoft Excel can be used for automation. Okay. Someone is saying you really love it. Thank you very much. Please use it for your work. Use it to analyze your data and use it to better improve your efficiency. Okay. So and then on Thursday, we'll now move into Power BI for data analytics. Then we'll teach you how to build interactive dashboard from scratch. To see how you can do data cleaning using the Power Query Editor, how you can do extraction, transformation and loading of data, how you can build a data model, how you can build data tables, how you can analyze your data to build a complete dashboard, write that, write measures and calculated columns. So we are just going to do a lot in that class using Power Query. And then on Saturday next week, which is going to be the grand finale, we are going to look at career opportunities and transitional industries and how we can better help you to land your first job, start training, and the internship opportunities that are available through data analytics. All right, so it's going to be a loaded week, and I want you to get yourself ready and make sure that you leverage this opportunity to learn. And please do not forget to enroll for the master class. This free training is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the tip of the iceberg. It's just showing you a few things that are possible through data. The real thing happens in the master class where we take time to teach you. For example, the data analyst, which we just have to pay just 20,000 naira in total, or you can pay 10,000 naira monthly, depending on how you want to pay for it. You get to learn for complete 2 months. That is 8 weeks of intensive training with live sessions. You'll be having you'll be able to build portfolios and projects in both Excel and Power BI. And then if you are going for the full training, which is the data analyst track, which will run for 15 weeks, that is 4 months and 2 weeks. So that one you just have to pay 40,000 naira or you pay 10,000 for the duration of the 4 months. To learn if you cannot pay all of it at once. You are not rushing to get all the money all at once. Yes, the money is important so that we can better take care of the personnel that will be training you in the class. So what that is going to do is that you are going to learn four important tools for data analytics. Excel for data analysis, SQL for storing databases, Power BI for data storytelling, and then Python for automation and data modeling and deployment. So these are the things that you get to learn from the master class. So it's a loaded experience, and our students are already making it easy. I'll share some of the success stories with us next week when we meet. So make up your mind and make sure that you enroll. Procrastination is the enemy of progress. So you should stop procrastinating and take a step now to make payments. All right. So okay, I have a question here. The code on the Google Colab is still showing after analyzing the data. Is there a way the code can be removed? However, can we see no code? Can we see no code was showing on the Brick AI? Okay, yeah, wonderful. So you can remove the code on Google Colab, no problem. Google Colab is just like when you are writing inside a notebook. So you can remove the code if you don't want to see the code. If you are people that are have phobia for code, what should I call them? Okay, I will research on that. So if you have phobia for code, you can actually remove them. Yes, but the code will show your thinking process. And Google Colab is like a notebook that you build your project. And after that, you have to transfer it to a visualization interface. Either you transfer it to either Power BI or you use Tableau for your visualization. So in real life, you are not going to present your notebook to the stakeholders. You are going to present the inside, but the notebook is just like when you are doing a deep study. It will help you to learn the nitty-gritty of what you're analyzing. You get to understand what you're analyzing. You can see those things that you cannot see inside the data with your visualization. So you can do deep analysis, you can do modeling and deployment, you can do a lot of machine learning within the interface to help you go into deep analysis. So the detail like we have seen is just an interface for you to build dashboards. That is basically to build dashboards, it's not to do deep analysis and stuff like that. All right. So I thank you, Akin Osun, for that love the great AI. All right, at this point, we need to sign out. I want to say thank you very much for your consistency, for following along to now. This is the 3 of 6, and we hope to have a good time by next week analyzing data with all of us. From here, I'll say thank you very much and good night.